Hello, good evening and welcome to Primetime News. I'm Nadim Majid.
And I'm Rahna Farouk. Let's start off with a look at tonight's headlines.
President to address world leaders and global business community in China tomorrow. Are investigations into alleged central bank bond scam being suppressed?
$6,000 පඩියක් අරගෙන සිංගප්පූරුවේ නිවාඩුගත කරන්න නෙමෙයි මහ බැංකුව අධිපතිකම් දුන්නේ.
Large-scale financial fraud investigation unit records statement from former president's chief of staff Gamini Senarath. 10,000 metric tons of rice suspected to be unfit for consumption found at a storage facility in Kalania. Inclement weather, heavy rains experienced in many areas.
President Maithripala Sirisena will be meeting with several world leaders and the global business community tomorrow. The president will be addressing the BOA conference in Hainan province, China, under the theme of a new future in Asia and a community with a common goal.
President Maithripala Sirisena met with several senior Chinese officials during his visit to China on the invitation of Chinese President Xi Jinping. There, the president expressed his gratitude towards the Chinese government for its interest in collaborating with the new government. He added that the Chinese president's campaign against corruption and the development of good governance is a model for his own government. President Sirisena added that the long-standing bilateral relationship and close friendship between the two countries should continue through understanding and respect. The two leaders have reached an agreement to successfully conclude the China-Sri Lanka Free Trade Agreement, which is still in the discussion stages. Sri Lanka also expressed its full support to China's interest in the 21st century maritime Silk Route.
Ajit P. Pereira, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, addressing reporters today, said that the government's stance regarding the Colombo Port City project has not changed during the President's visit to China.
Port City ව්‍යාපෘතිය අප తాවකාලිකව අත්හිටවා තිබෙනවා. වැදගත්ම කරුණ තමයි
We have temporarily suspended the Port City project. Incidentally, no detailed discussion over the Port City had taken place with the Chinese president or any of the Chinese officials. No matter what is said in the statement issued by the Chinese, President Maithripala Sirisena had not mentioned that an agreement was reached to recommence the Colombo Port City project. The Sri Lankan government is considering its stance on the Colombo Port City project. The Sri Lankan government will look into the various environmental and legal issues and take a decision in the future.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා රජය ඒ ව්‍යාපෘතියට ආවේනිකව ඇති විවිධ ගැටලු, පාරිසරික ගැටලු, නීතිමය ගැටලු, ගිවිසුම් පිළිබඳ ගැටලු පිළිබඳව සලකා බැලීමෙන් පසු ඉදිරියේදී යම් තීරණයක් ගන්නවා.
The Deputy Minister also commented on the investigations being held over Sri Lanka's former envoy to Russia, Udhyanga Weeratunga's alleged involvement in a weapons deal.
මේ ආයුධ කවුරුන් නිෂ්පාදනය කළාද? කවුරුන්ගේ උමනාවන් අනුව හුමාරුනාද කියලා කියන්න මම දන්නේ නැහැ.
I do not know who manufactured these weapons and for whose need it was moved about. We do not know the certainty of the complaint filed by the government of Ukraine. We are looking into that. If Weeratunga has not committed a wrong and if investigations prove that a wrong has been committed, that will be a reason for serious punishment according to Sri Lankan law and international law. We have not discussed this issue with the governments of Russia nor Ukraine. Based on the information we have, he had been operating a restaurant in Ukraine for a long period and has had connections with Ukraine as a person who speaks Russian. That is all we have on him. We have not discussed this matter with the Russian government. This is a serious issue.
ඒකයි අපිට තියෙන තොරතුරු. එතනින් එහාට තොරතුරක් නැහැ. රුසියානු රජය සමග අපි මේ ගැන තාම වචනයක්වත් කතා කරලා නැහැ. මේක මොකක් බැරෑරුම් කාරණයක්.
Ajit P. Pereira expressed the following views on fishermen.
2015 මාර්තු මාස 24 වෙනිදා පවත්වපු මේ සාකච්ඡාවේදී
various matters were discussed during the meeting convened on the 24th of March 2015. The Indian fishermen requested that they be given 83 days of the year to fish in Sri Lankan waters. The previous request was for 120 days. We rejected the request for 120 days. In addition, our fishermen too have completely rejected the request for 83 days.
ඒ වගේම අපේ දීවරයන් විසින්ම මේ දින 83 ඉල්ලීමත් සම්පූර්ණයෙන් ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරා.
No information has come to light as yet on the progress that has been made by the committee investigating alleged irregularities in a recent central bank bond issue. Let's take a look back at the events so far.
Details of suspect CBSL bond issue come to light. President orders that committee be appointed to inquire into alleged losses caused by the suspect bond issue. 3-member committee appointed by the Prime Minister. Names of Gawini Pitipana, Mahesh Kalugampitiya and Chandimal Mendes announced as committee members. Opposition lodges complaint at Bribery Commission seeking investigation into alleged bond scam. UNP Chairman Malik Samaravikrama confirms he was present at the meeting held on the 26th of February. CBSL Governor accepts failure to communicate to primary dealers the CBSL's intention to raise more funds through bond issue. Prime Minister makes announcement in Parliament on alleged bond scam. Announces that Arjuna Mahendran is on leave. Opposition staged protests opposite CBSL demanding that investigation be speeded up. CBSL announces new bond issue as previous bond issue continues to court controversy. 19 days have passed since details came to light on alleged bond scam. What happened to the investigation? His contemporary has been appointed as the acting governor. This contemporary is the person who was appointed as the head of the tender board after he took over as governor. Now he is the acting governor. As soon as he was appointed, 15 internal transfers were made. He did this for his wants using his loyalists and associates. Now he is on the outside and steering the central bank.
The Prime Minister has appointed a 3-member committee drawn from his own party to investigate. To investigate into what? There is no criminality involved here, and the Governor of the Central Bank, Arjuna Mahendran, has admitted that he has done something wrong. He forgot to tell the others about the requirements. This forgot has cost this country at least 23 billion rupees. That's the same as building a Colombo-Galle highway every year for 30 years. However, we still don't know what the scope of the investigation is all about. What is the mandate? It appears that more money is being spent and the country is footing the bill. We are now told that Arjuna Mahendran is on a paid vacation. There need be no committee to investigate his admission, which is why we say that it is unacceptable. He must go. He must go home for good.
Even now we say that it is not enough to just send him on leave. He must be sent home. He was not made the governor of the central bank so he could stay in Singapore while receiving a $6,000 salary. If the government thinks that they can appoint a friend as governor for 50 days and then suppress the fact that fraud has been committed, they must know that we will not allow it. For the first time since independence, or since the white man left, our nation's currency notes are going to be signed by a foreigner.
Former Ministers Wimal Weerawansa and Kehelia Rambukwella were summoned by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption today. This was the second instance where Wimal Weerawansa had been summoned by the Bribery Commission. He was grilled for a prolonged period of time today as well.
I arrived at the Commission today for further interrogation into the same charge over assets that was levelled against me. I believe that I was questioned for many hours.
Former Minister Kehelia Rambukwella arrived at the Bribery Commission today in order to provide a statement. Meanwhile, the convener of the Voice Against Corruption organization arrived at the Commission to investigate bribery or corruption today to give a statement pertaining to a complaint that was lodged in July last year.
They worked towards handing the contract for the 400 meters synthetic track placed at the Sugaddas Stadium to a landscaping company. The track has been in a dilapidated state ever since it was reconstructed. The Olympic Committee had informed the Minister of Sports to replace the track with a new one. We had lodged a complaint on misuse of public funds amounting to 300 million rupees in July last year, and we were only summoned to give a statement on the 27th of March 2015. We are happy that at least now they are recording a statement over a complaint that we lodged in 2014.
මේ විදියට විමර්ශනයට ආරම්භ කිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපි සතුටු වෙනවා.
Former Chief of Defence Staff, Air Chief Marshal Roshan Gunathilaka, was questioned by the large-scale Financial Fraud Investigation Division. Police media spokesperson ASP Ruwan Gunasekara said that he was questioned over the procurement of MiG fighter jets. Meanwhile, the former President's Chief of Staff, Gamini Senarath, was summoned by the large-scale Financial Fraud Investigations Division. Reports say he was grilled for more than 3 hours and that a statement was recorded. Police media spokesperson ASP Ruwan Gunasekara noted that Senarath was questioned over alleged financial irregularities at a leasing company.
Speaking on the Satna program telecast last evening, Minister Reginald Kure commented on the ongoing dialogue regarding the Prime Ministerial candidate of the SLFP.
No matter what Wimal Veerawansa says, wherever Mahinda Rajapaksa goes and holds meetings, journalists put mics in front of him and ask various questions. He does not give a definite answer to any of the questions. He always says, "Let us see." He also maintains that he is in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. He reiterates constantly that he will never split the SLFP. What I want to know is whether it is Mahinda Rajapaksa that wants to do this or Wimal Veerawansa. Do you need agents, proctors and brokers? If he is the patron of the party, he would not go from junction to junction making those statements. A group of party members got together and asked him to take the opposition leadership. One MP even prepared a letter of resignation to enable him to do this. He made a promise that day, but the next morning he said he was unwilling. Now the party has invited him to come and work with the party. What is the premiership? There is a fruit on the tree and the man is trying to get at the seed before even plucking the fruit. Pluck the fruit, peel it, take the seed out of the flesh and become Prime Minister. There is no problem with him and the party. But why is he not doing it when it can be done from here? All I have to say is this. When ticks and lice want to journey somewhere, they wait for a cow to come along so they can get on its back. Because it takes a louse 10 years to move forward by an inch. But when it gets on the back of the cow, it can journey on and it has plenty of blood to drink too. The JVP says that the challenge facing the country at present is expediting the amendment to the Constitution. JVP leader Anura Kumar Dissanayake made this statement at an event held in Colombo.
විධායක ජනාධිපති පත් වුණා. ඒක අනිත් පැත්තට අරගෙන
This needs to go in reverse. An executive president was elected and a system where a prime minister will be appointed needed to be created. I do not think that political forces will be in favor of this. The reason being, when the executive powers of a person are stripped, there are many who are eager to take that seat. There are persons who think that if they can keep him in his place and also keep the seat vacant, they can obtain it.
විධායක ජනාධිපතිවරයා නිර්මාණය වුණේ තිබුණු ව්‍යවස්ථාවට සංශෝධනයක් ගෙනල්ලා නම් ඒ අගමැති බවට පත් වෙලා ඔහු ජනාධිපති වුණා නම්
What is justifiable is this. If the executive presidency was created through a constitutional amendment and if he becomes president after being made prime minister, what needs to be done is to make the president the prime minister. The executive presidency needs to be abolished in its entirety. However, certain powers need to be restricted during the tenure of the current president, Maithripala Sirisena. What the party leaders got together and created was not this. This is something that was done as cabinet has surrendered to one person.
අපි හිතනවා හඬ ජාකොබ්ගේ වුණාට අත ඊසොප්ගේ කියලා.
Various events held across the island.
If there is anyone who thinks that the national government is a license that has been given to the thieves, the thugs and the murderers to escape, then it is wrong. We will not let that happen. We will struggle for that cause. When we are committed to good governance, do not try to deceive us in the United National Party by saying you are innocent.
At present, all the rogues and fraudsters are still at large. Has this government been able to even question any of the financial fraudsters who have destroyed the nation's economy and the stock market? What is happening now? Since the day they were elected, we cannot escape the people. They are eating our heads. They ask us why is this happening and that they hoped clean people would be appointed.
මේ රටේ විරුද්ධ පක්ෂෙන් ආණ්ඩු පක්ෂයේ
We were made to take up positions as ministers in the government while in the opposition on the invitation of the president. There are people who hope to bring about a change at the previous election. The JBP too has a responsibility to assist in the change of two major matters. The people of this country are hoping for it. One is the change to the constitution. The other is to change the failed electoral system.
A group from the opposition has gone over and formed a national government. At the same time, they have the opposition leader in parliament. There's an abnormal political system in Sri Lanka today. There are two types of thievery in Sri Lanka. The one who thieves in Sinhalese gets caught. The one who steals in English doesn't. The new government steals in English.
ආජුතපර ලාහිලා බීජුතපර ලාහිලා අප වමනද එක තැන කරකෙන්නේ අප තනිකර ලෝකයේ දිව යන්නේ කියන. ඒ නිසා අපි එක තැන කරකිලා.
And so we are spinning around in the same place. There is no point in just spinning around. The world is changing rapidly. We must identify the tremors of change in the world and move forward.
මේ වෙනස් වීම වලට වාජනය වෙමින් මේ වෙනස් වීම හඳුනා ගනිමින් අපි ඉස්සරහට යන්න ඕන.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe is currently on a tour of Jaffna. During this tour, the Prime Minister is expected to call on political and civil society representatives and also attend several development programs. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe attended an event to distribute nutrition packs to pregnant mothers at the Veerasingham Hall in Jaffna today.
There are many single mother households in the north, especially in Jaffna. There are 89,000 widows. Underweight childbirth has risen to 18%. 1 in every 2 children suffers from malnutrition.
Subsequently, a meeting was held at the Jaffna District Secretariat to inquire into the issues faced by people in Jaffna. We need to find solutions to the fundamental issues. That is why we are having a discussion today. We need the assistance of the people in order to resolve the issues in the north. We need to work towards one objective. I will create a government in parliament at the next election that will provide solutions to these issues. Some will have ministerial portfolios, some will be given positions in the parliamentary select committee that will be formed. Policies will be planned within parliament. Ministers and deputy ministers will head them. Working committees will investigate it so that a government can operate. A Lanka Sathosa storage facility in Bollagala, Kalania was sealed today over the suspicion of having rice not suitable for consumption.
Personnel attached to the Public Health Inspector's office in Birgama inspected the storage facility based on a tip-off. The PHI said that the storage facility housed 10,700 metric tons of imported rice. They added that a stock of rice had already been dispatched for distribution. Samples have been obtained by the officials to ascertain as to whether the stocks of rice meet the proper standards. The PHIs noted that measures will be taken to present facts to court over this matter.
There is a rise in food not suitable for consumption entering the markets. It is the general public who are burdened by this. It is the people of the country who have to face the consequences of the decisions taken on a political basis by the officials and authorities. A 20,000 rupee package was to be given to the expectant mothers. 2 days after that, peas, dal and other items not suitable for consumption were discovered. What happened? Only investigations took place. Strict laws need to be introduced on food and beverage. There is a serious issue here.
Meanwhile, a communique issued by the Ministry of Industry and Commerce states that reports on the discovery of 10,700 metric tons of rice unfit for consumption are false and misleading. The communique notes that 2 tons of rice had been stored separately at the storage facility and that this stock had been earmarked for disposal. The statement reads that the stocks should have been disposed of following a survey, adding that it had been stored as the bird of survey has not yet been appointed.
The suspect, who is believed to have attacked the brother of President Maithripala Sirisena, Priyantha Sirisena, was produced before the Manampitiya magistrate this morning.
Police say that the brother of the president who sustained injuries was flown from Polonnaruwa to Colombo last night for treatment at a private hospital in Colombo. Priyantha Sirisena was attacked at the Yaya Hatara Road in Polonnaruwa. Immediate measures were taken to transfer Priyantha Sirisena from Polonnaruwa to Colombo as he sustained severe injuries after being attacked with an axe. Police media spokesperson ASP Ruwan Gunasekara said that the suspect who surrendered to the police was arrested by the Bakamuna police yesterday and was produced before the Polonnaruwa Magistrate Court today. He was ordered to be remanded until the 8th of April. The axe that was used in the attack was later discovered by the police.
It is reported that the suspect and the injured individual are friends. The suspect is believed to have attacked him from the back following a dispute. The Polonnaruwa police are conducting investigations into the incident. The suspect was turned over to the Polonnaruwa police as the investigations are being carried out by them. The police were able to discover an axe which was used for the attack following police interrogation.
The Colombo Additional Magistrates Court has relaxed bail conditions on former Minister Mervyn Silva's son, Malacus Silva. The condition preventing him from frequenting public spaces and acting in a manner that causes fear has been lifted. However, he is still barred from all nightclubs as per the bail conditions.
Malacus Silva was initially remanded by Colombo Additional Magistrate Nishanta Pires in connection with an alleged assault on a foreign couple. He was later released on bail on strict conditions. Malacus Silva's lawyers had filed a motion in court seeking the relaxation of the bail conditions. The hearing is scheduled to be taken up in August. What has happened is for good. Going to a nightclub could cause issues. Therefore, this is good. Now I can go anywhere.
දවල් මිගෙල් රෑ ඩැනියල් වගේ චරිතයන්නේ දන්නවද? දවල් මිගෙල් රෑ ඩැනියල්.
Who I am in the afternoon is different from the person I am in the night. Therefore, I think that the ban on nightclubs is good. Only drunkards are found at a nightclub, the depressed ones.
The Met Department forecasts a heavy showers in several parts of the island due to continued disturbances in the wind flow. The department forecast a rain in excess of 150 millimeters in certain areas.
Heavy showers were experienced in several parts of Colombo and surrounding areas last night too. Several parts of the Colombo city were inundated. Our reporters say that in some areas the floodwaters did not recede for hours. The Met Department noted that the northern, north central, eastern and Nuwa provinces and the Hambantota district could receive intermittent showers. Temporarily localized strong winds have also been forecast during thunder showers, and the Met Department calls on the public to take steps to prevent lightning-related accidents.
A group of farmers from Ambilipitia protested, requesting the seed paddy worth 2,800 rupees promised by the government to be given to them.
The protest march, which commenced from the Kavantissa Rajamaha Vihara, reached the Ambilipitia bus stand where the farmers protested. Massive events were organized to mark the occasion in order to seek election benefits. Only selected farmers were given the 2,800 rupees. However, there are a majority of farmers who receive this relief. Therefore, the farmers' rights need to be given to them. We urge this government to provide this 2,800 rupees relief to all the farmers.
Leader of the National Unity Front, Azad Salih, says that an issue has arisen over the Hajj pilgrimage. He made these remarks in a special statement to Newsfirst.
What we requested from the government was to take Hajj pilgrims on a cost basis between 350,000 rupees and 400,000 rupees like it did before. This is similar to what is done by travel agencies. We formulated an initiative where if there is a balance, it will be given back. The President appointed Faisal Mustafa and I for this purpose and addressed a letter to the Minister of Muslim Affairs and the department. The government of Saudi Arabia provides us with a quota of 2,800. The ambassador or the Consul General can sign the document and no one else needs to go there. The minister is preparing to take a delegation of 7 by spending millions. This 7-member delegation is the initiative undertaken by Minister Halim to waste public funds for the first time in the country. Because the President is not in the country, this group is preparing to set off to Mecca before he arrives. The Prime Minister is there and Minister Halim is under his cabinet. This needs to be stopped immediately and investigated. We request that this be implemented in a proper manner. Halim did not get into the streets nor attend any of the rallies. It was we who represented the Muslim community and obtained their votes. We will not allow anything unjust to happen to the Muslim community. When this appointment was being made for the post of Minister of Muslim Affairs, we requested the Prime Minister to not to do so. Now look at what has happened.
Sri Lanka skipper Angelo Matthews said that weaknesses in the batting led to Sri Lanka's quarter-final exit from the 2015 Cricket World Cup.
The first media briefing convened by the Sri Lanka cricket team following their return to the island was held at the SLC today. The bowlers must bowl well in order to win a match. We took the best of our bowlers to the World Cup. We do not have any other bowlers. I believe they did the best a bowler could do in such a climate. I do not accept that the bowlers did not fare well. We lost the quarter-final because of the batsmen's weaknesses. Chairman of the National Selection Committee, Sanat Jayasuriya, had this to say on the selection of the squad for the tournament. During the tour, it is the captain and the coach that take the team to the field. We always hold discussions with the captain and coach and send the most suitable cricketer. Sometimes it could go right and at times not. A journalist also questioned Coach Marwan Atapattu on the halting of the Sri Lanka cricket team's training regime as a result of the sudden tour of India. I cannot pinpoint that as the reason. As you said, 3 of them had fractures. There were no muscle injuries. Only 2 had muscle injuries. It cannot be pinpointed. But in any case, when you have a plan in place and it does not work out, it is not the best thing. It is the nature of a sports tournament, and I think we must understand this. When you go for such a tournament, no matter how well you play, it can all change in a single match.
And that's the wrap for the Primetime News. I'm Rahna Farooq.
And I'm Nadim Majid. Just a reminder that you can keep abreast of all the news we're following here at News First by visiting our website, Newsfirst.lk. You can also follow us on Twitter on the handle at Newsfirst_EN and find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Newsfirst.English. Good night and good luck.